Okay, so today's video is going to be a little bit different because I'm actually going to be sitting here talking to you guys about the things that I've made in Procreate on my tablet. If that sounds like something you would enjoy, I'm Rory Fluent. Feel free to call me Rory. If you're new around here, hi, hello, how are you? Feel free to let me know in the comments down below. I like to create dope art content and hopefully a chill atmosphere. And if you're not new around here, what is up, my dudes? I am very, very excited to be talking about all of the little projects that I've done in Procreate. So, I thought that the first things I would go through were kind of like the older things in Procreate. So like, obviously I have my little icon here, and I actually have him as like the little animation that I like to put in the end of my videos. This was like, I don't know, my second or third animation that I had tried to do. I don't know if I still have my old ones. I do. Okay, so I tried to do this guy. I thought he was kind of cool. Might make for a cool title sequence, or I don't know, something that I might end up using later, because I do like the way the words grow, or the word, my name, grows out of the what looks like a plane, like the ground or whatever. Then obviously you have the animation that I have playing at the end of a lot of my videos, sped up a little bit. I think I was messing around with it. And let's see, obviously my frog animation, which is actually from a sketch in my sketchbook. I don't think I have it anymore as a layer, but this is like the full frog. You guys normally only see like this much. Okay, so let's see here. Oh, and then obviously we have all of my title doodles, which I love this one, and then the one that I ended up going with for like the beginning of my video is this guy here. Yeah, which was really fun, pretty simple to do. I got a lot of inspiration from Lil Star Nerd's intro that they have in a couple of their videos, where the text actually kind of moves and like changes a little bit, like you're writing it yourself, which I did write this. I know it's not perfectly straight or anything. It's not like it doesn't look like it was written, but it was definitely written. Okay, so then we have like, these are like some tries that I had that I was messing around with. Some of this is schoolwork, which I want to make like a whole separate video about. You have like thumbnails that I'm making and working on. Let's see here. I can go ahead and talk about like some of these projects. So like this one you guys saw, or you know, some of you might have seen a video that I made about this particular painting. It was a sketchbook page that I hated, or actually it was an Arches paper, like 16 by 20, like it was really, really big. And I ended up turning it into this, which I like a lot more. I just think that it's, I don't know, the colors are better. I just really like this piece, and I think that it turned out really well, especially compared to like what it was. I think it ended up being pretty awesome. Love this little guy here. I think he's adorable. And like the texture that I was able to get in the coral, I just had like a lot of fun with, and messing around with all these different layers, most of which are labeled, not all of, but most of which. And I just found the whole thing, like, it's really cool to see all of the layers grow and build together. I really enjoyed that. So then this was like my first or maybe second official painting in Procreate. And this is also my banner, obviously. In YouTube, you see like that much of it. And overall, I'm like really happy with the way that the whole thing turned out. It was a sketch in my sketchbook, which I don't think I kept the template that I made that into. And then I just started fiddling around, really trying to work on lighting and just having a really interesting lighting dynamic where it's really warm in the little, like, the scraps shop, and then really cool on the outside. And then this logo here I actually created. Let's see, that's here. These were the finals that I ended up with that I was like really happy with. So like just a little bit of process here. I was looking at like the difference when you shrunk it from, well, the camera's having a little bit of a hard time, but if you take a step back, you can see the first on this one and not scraps, where on this one the secondary and the hierarchy to scraps, which is the important word, kind of the name of the shop or whatever. So I had a lot of fun making that. I actually had like this as an idea, but from a logo design perspective, it's really poor because the readability from far away is non-existent. So that was scrapped pretty early, no pun intended. And these were kind of like the sketches that it came from. And so what I like to do is lower the opacity of the sketches and then kind of like draw over top of them to layer like the different ideas that I have and start kind of building off of them. So the next thing to talk about is this guy. So this was actually from a watercolor painting or like gouache painting that I was doing, and I hated it. Hated the way it looked. It was disgusting. And so I went ahead and decided to start a procreate painting of it just to see what it would look like and what I could end up with. I'm a pretty big fan of like all the fish, and I don't know, I really like the lighting, like the depth here, and like I'm a pretty big fan of this section as well. So I ended up actually sectioning it off so that this is kind of like a little painting in of itself as well, because I like the composition of this square. I just don't think I love both of these together. Like, I bet if I took a square of this part, I think that looks a lot better as well. So if I just went ahead and selected, duplicated, and then I'm just going to go into Canvas and hit crop and resize and like cut out maybe to here. We'll see what that does. Need to fix the bottom of it. Made that a little bit too big, and I'm even thinking like that maybe. Yeah, you know, like I kind of like that. And so now we have like these two panels that I think work better as separate panels than as one horizontal painting. I really didn't like the way that turned out. So moving on to like the next part of what I wanted to talk about. This was a painting that I did a whole video on, and I'm just kind of like showing you guys what it looks like. And I don't know, like looking at the layers, you can see I really like to label all of my layers. Not all of them obviously, but I really like working in layers that I kind of can label and then build off of and better understand what it is that I'm trying to do within the composition. I was like really happy with the textures. I'm using this Max Pastel soft brush. I love the Max Pax brushes. They're lovely, and like there I'm just showing you with my finger, but you know, you can get all of this lovely texture with it. And so the Retro Max Pack is like my favorite. I believe that I showed you guys in this video the packs that I use. It's the watercolor and retro pack, and they're called Max Packs. And they're lovely. They're absolutely beautiful to work with. I have all kinds of them. The gouache one, look at that texture. Isn't that epic? I think that's so dope. So I really like to like build a color layer that's like blocking out the general colors that I want to use, and then I just kind of take that and build off of it until I have something that I like. So I guess that's just a little bit of a glimpse into my process. As you can see here, I've taken one of my favorite illustrations from one of my favorite pages in my sketchbook, and I wanted to bring it on here into Procreate and see what I could do, and I'm absolutely in love with it. I would love to be able to make stickers eventually. That's something that I might make a separate video on, just chatting about the ideas that I have. Some of them you can kind of see here. Because I don't know, I've always wanted people to want to buy my art, specifically in the form of stickers, and so the idea that someone might want to own something like this and put it on, I don't know, a sketchbook that they own is just like really exciting. Okay, so, let's see. So I'm going to make a whole video on these, but just to show you guys a little glimpse, I am currently painting a bunch of dogs. As you can see, there's Bronson right there. I work at a rescue currently, and as practice, I wanted to paint portraits of all the dogs and then hopefully build to the point where I can actually make like doodles of them and paintings of them actually in action doing things, but I figured portraits might be a good way to start. This second painting here, or this other thing that I want to talk about, is a painting I did that's actually based off of the curriculum that artists have shared from their schools online. So this specifically is from a gel arts video where they explained that they had a topic bound together that they had to create a piece off of. And so I thought, well, why can't I do that in my free time and just treat it like there's a deadline and like there has to be, you know, a thorough concept and, you know, something that I would be proud to turn into any of my professors from my graphic design background that were more illustration inclined. And so I tried my best to make something that I would be really proud to show one of my professors, and I did. So I started, and you can see, you can kind of see my slight thought process here, where I started and I was just scribbling down ideas and just putting arrows towards ideas that linked to each other, and here's plastic, and then maybe the soda rings, and what do I want to do, and what ideas do I want to have. I love drawing animals, so from there, is there some sort of concept, some sort of really poignant concept that I can create based off of animals? And that's when I started thinking about plastic and the plastics that animals trap themselves in. And then I thought, you know what? Those plastic rings that hold soda cans together could bind, I've seen so many images of animals with their heads stuck in them, so I'm sure that more than one animal gets stuck in those at a time at some point. And I thought, you know, maybe these little baby raccoons got stuck in these round plastic sort of I don't even know what to call them. They just wrap around soda cans and kind of link them like this. And so I thought, you know, what if they're stuck and they're bound together by this plastic, and this little dude here is getting rescued, you know, and he's got a little bit of a mark where that plastic used to sit. And I know that the idea itself is a little grim, but I know when I was in design school, it was really important to have a concept that mattered, and then to hit that concept home and to really make it clear to the viewer and to the audience what it is you're trying to say. And so I think that it's pretty clear that I'm trying to describe some of the pains of plastic that are caused to animals. And so I was just very excited about that, and I plan on making more kind of pieces. Like this is a piece I'm working on where it was No One Will Take the Blame for You. Another one from Gel Arts that they talked about having as a prompt in their art school, and so I thought, why not take that myself? And so I was kind of in the mood to draw vegetables, kind of in the mood to still do animals, and so I came up with this concept of the squirrel wrapping around in the composition, eating out of a bird feeder, and the birds in the background coming to hold this squirrel accountable. So we'll see how that ends up going, because it's not actually on a different artboard. So I also wanted to do sort of this landscapey one where there's more than one squirrel and there's trees in the background, and so I don't know, we'll see if I end up being able to make both, because I thought it would be cool for them to be a pair, where it's from far away what it looks like happening, and then you zoom in and you see the squirrel eating, you know, from the bird feeder or whatever. So I don't know, maybe that'll be a video. I think I've been waiting to sketch it so that it'll be a video in of itself where I can show more of my process like I did for this snake one. And last but not least is this little project I had. I called it Intrusive Thoughts because I had just an absolute blast doodling it. It started from this doodle here, which you'll have seen spurred from a page actually in my sketchbook. I don't know how far back it is. Is it this? Yeah, this doodle here, which at the end of that video where I was talking about that sketchbook spread, I showed you guys this little piece that I did in Procreate. And so I don't know, it kind of turned into a little story and a comic in my head where I wanted to try and tell this really short little blurb into this fox's mind, where he is letting an intrusive thought win and contemplating what would happen if he bit his friend's tail. And so that is, you know, exactly what he ends up doing. And I made this little comic-ish spread, I'm holding up air quotes here, where it just kind of tells the story. Now if I hit 4 fingers, yes, okay, so it just tells the story of, you know, this little fox contemplating what he's gonna do, and then finally taking the chomp on his friend's tail. And then this logo here I actually created. If I yep, okay. I've never done that before, if you can't tell. So I actually went through a whole thought process where I was doodling some ideas, and I really loved the idea of one of the letters intruding on the others. And so I ended up landing on this, and then those little focal points end up drawing your eye around the logo and just build a little bit more interest, which I really liked. Not to mention it kind of harkens to my name, and I put this little dot in the middle, kind of like that eyeball that sits in Roarifluent during my title card kind of thing. And so yeah, I thought that it worked really well together, and I sat down and just drew this up in Procreate and copied and pasted it into here, but I really just kind of kept working on it, and you can see I have like so many different layers that I would technically smush together to make this logo. If it was something that I was going to use seriously, I would want all of these layers together so that they're not separated, but it took a little while and a lot of fiddling. This is kind of what it started. Let's see, what am I doing here? I want this, and then I was going to show you guys, this is kind of like the loose idea that I started with, and then I cleaned it up and just made sure that the kerning, tracking was something that I liked, and so that means all of the spaces between the letters and the way that the two different words are interacting together were interacting in a way that I liked and appreciated. And then I also kind of like the interconnectivity of the N and the T, and I just really liked the way the letters were interacting with each other, and so I feel like that ended up coming across really well to fit my point of intrusive thoughts. So I do think that's going to be it for this video. I just kind of wanted to sit down and chat with you guys about some of the projects that I'm really proud of in Procreate that I did on my own and didn't make a video about. And so I wanted somewhere to be able to show you guys what these were. And I'm going to leave this guy up here because he's not on the thumbnail, but I adore this piece and I'm really proud of it. And I'd love to hear your thoughts on how I'm doing in Procreate and whether or not you like this kind of style. I'm hoping to get soft pastels for Christmas, so that I'm actually able to start integrating some of these lovely textures that I'm getting with this soft pastel brush into my traditional media, because it's really what I'm lacking right now. So with all of that being said, if you made it this far into the video, thank you so much for sticking around. I really appreciate it, and hopefully I'll get the chance to talk to you in the next one. Bye!